Welcome to the tutorial for Devil's Forest 1. In this tutorial I will demonstrate and analyze two strategies to help you improve your best time. The strategies that I will demonstrate are meant to be of use to players of all skill levels. I will start with the first basic strategy that will allow any player to beat the Stealth Ghost. The more difficult strategies will allow even the best players to improve their times. Each strategy is given a difficulty rating to let you know what you're getting yourself into. Each strategy is also given a goal time to work towards before moving on to the next one. This tutorial assumes an understanding of the game's driving mechanics and moves as covered in the driving mechanics and moves tutorial on my channel, so be sure to check that one out first. Okay, let's get started and have fun!
It's a new record!
The first strategy on Devil's Forest 1 has a heavy emphasis on efficient driving. Try to drive in as many straight lines as possible and minimize your steering. Start by staying close to the left rail and steer right along the dirt zone on the left side. When you approach the first corner, it is time for some side attack turning. This can be quite tricky to optimize. Start side attacking first and only after the first side attack steer into the corner sharply. Keep mashing that R button to steer right along the apex of the corner, but don't overdo it. If you start side attacking first and steer into the corner only after you have started the first side attack, you will minimize your speed loss. Try to drive in a straight line, staying close to the left rail. When you approach the corkscrew up ahead, stay close to the right rail, and align yourself with the dash plate in a straight line. The straight line should aim for the left rail of the corkscrew. It happens to be so that if you stay on the far left side of the corkscrew, on the light green patch of textures, that you keep a little bit more speed. This is in the order of 5 to 20 km per hour, depending on the speed that you are traveling with. Keep driving in a straight line until about halfway through the corkscrew. Then take a line to steer gradually to the inside of the corkscrew to approach the corner into the tunnel up ahead. The corner coming up ahead after the corkscrew section that leads into the tunnel is pretty sharp. Regular steering doesn't cut it to take it well, so you have to use some right side attacks, similarly to how you used them before. Approach the corner, side attack first and then steer into it sharply. Try to aim it so that you go right along the apex into the tunnel. Aim to drive right along the left side when you exit the tunnel. Go along the full length of the dash plate to profit as optimally as possible from it. Go in the right refill zone right along the rail and aim for a straight line into lap 2. When you enter lap 2, boost immediately just once. Now you're going quite a bit faster than lap 1, so the corner coming up ahead is quite tricky. Take it with some well-timed right side attacks that go right along its apex. You will probably not make it if you side attack just once or twice, so boost to go right along the dirt zone so you can use that little extra bit of road. Keep on boosting after the corner all the way up to the dash blade in the corkscrew section and boost once more after you hit it. Similarly to lap 1, go on the far left side of the corkscrew on the light green patch. Boost once more after the dash blade and keep driving in a straight line for most of the corkscrew. In between these two little pyramid structures on the background, aim for the right side of the corkscrew. Keep driving in a straight line as possible. The right corner coming up ahead, take it with some well-timed right side attacks to go right along its apex and into the tunnel. Keep mashing that R button as fast as you can. Now take the full length of the dash blade again. When you enter the refiller, make sure to enter the left refiller on lap 2. This means that you're in the refiller slightly longer because it's a wider driving path. This means that your energy refills a little bit more, so you have a little bit more boost to use in the final lap. This makes up for the time you lose by taking a slightly wider driving line. Cut across the dirt patch as much as you can while the boost is still active. Use well-timed right side attacks to take the corner and boost right after you exit the corner to cut across the dirt patch. Keep on boosting all the way up to the dash blade and once more after it. This is pretty much identical to lap 2. Of course, identical to lap 2, go on the far left side of the corkscrew to save a few hundredths of a second. When you approach the corner into the tunnel, again use some well-timed right side attacks to go right along its apex. Again exit the tunnel on the left side and be sure to take the full length of the dash blade from the lower left corner up to the point of it. Now go in the right refiller because it's the shortest path and it's the end of the race. Line the ship up in a straight line to the finish line and keep on boosting to finish the race. You should beat that Steph Ghost by a good margin. There's only 2 really difficult corners to speak of that you have to use some side attacks for, and if your boosting pattern is optimal, you will surely beat it. Good luck!
go! It's a new record!
The standard strategy in Devil's Force 1 uses a drifting strategy. Use the Night Thunder and start off immediately with a hard real drift on the left side. In this drift, aim for 940 km per hour or faster. Stay on the left side next to the dirt zone and prepare yourself for the next corner. The two corners that you use side attacks on in Strategy 1 are absolutely critical to make this strategy work. Set up a drift so you go right along its apex and extend the drift for as wide and as long as possible. Use a side attack to steer away from the rail to end the drift. Your energy is absolutely critical to make this strategy work. Take a good look at the energy meter, and the Y in the word energy should line up with the energy status. Your energy status is important to make the boosting strategy work in lap 2 and 3. Ideally, at the end of lap 1 your energy should refill completely. In your lineup with the dash plate, prepare for a hard rail drift on the right rail. When you approach the dash plate, start drifting hard right. You will aim straight for the rail, but right before hitting it, make sure to counter steer to reduce the impact and maintain more energy. After bouncing into the rail, steer into the rail again to set up your ideal drifting angle. You should aim for high in the 1300 km per hour speed range, ideally higher than 1350 km per hour. When your boost ends, also end the drift and drive in a straight line for the rest of the corkscrew. Approach the corner into the tunnel by driving to the left side of the road. Set up the drift well in advance and try to drift right along its apex. When you enter the tunnel, extend the drift for as wide and as long as possible. End the drift with a left side attack and set yourself up in a good line with the dash plate coming up ahead. It is important to drift over the dash plate to get a nice speed boost. Time your drift so that you drive over the back side of the dash plate. When you hit the back side of the dash plate, you should be at a very good drifting angle. You will extend your drift into the tunnel and use a right side attack to end the drift and line yourself up with the refiller coming up ahead. If you go in the right refill strip, you should refill your energy completely when you exit it. If you lost a little bit too much energy with your rail drifting in lap 1, you can also opt for the left refiller. When you get good at this strategy, you can do an optional boost drift right when you enter lap 2. For this, stay on the far left side of the track. You can see a division between the dark green and the light green textures of the road. Right when you enter the light green texture, do a right side attack and extend your drift all the way across the full width of the road to take full advantage of it. Start your boost as soon as you enter the following dark green textured road section. Extend your drift over the dirt zone to cut a little bit of the corner. Set up your drift right next to the dirt zone well in advance of the corner. Steer into the corner, and when you have a good drifting angle, only then at that moment, boost. This will send you right along its apex. You have to steer carefully to go right along its apex and extend the drift for as long as wide as possible again, and line yourself up next to the left rail. Keep on boosting all the way up to the dash plate coming up ahead. The corkscrew section is identical to strategy 1. Take the dash plate and line yourself up along the left rail on the light green texture. Boost once more after the dash plate boost ends and keep driving in a straight line. Halfway through the corkscrew, approach the middle of the road again and prepare yourself for the corner coming up ahead into the tunnel. In preparation for the corner coming up ahead into the tunnel, stay on the left side of the road next to the dirt zone. Do a left side attack into a drift. Set up a good drifting angle, and when your angle is good, boost. If you prepare yourself well, you can extend the drift along the apex of the corner right into the tunnel. Extend the drift for as wide as possible, and when your boost ends, end the drift as well. Line yourself up right along the left wall of the tunnel. Take the full length of the dash plate coming up ahead and aim for the left refiller strip. If your speed is higher than about 1240 km per hour when you enter the left refiller strip, make sure to wait with boosting a little bit until your speed drops below that. This is important because your energy is critical to make this strategy work. Ideally, when you enter the final lap, your energy status should line up right with the middle of the G in the word energy of your energy meter. If you have less energy than that, you will run into some energy trouble sooner or later. Lap 3 is pretty much the same as lap 2. Prepare for the drift along the dirt zone and keep on boosting all the way up to the dash plate coming up ahead. If you did run into some energy troubles, this section after the corner and up to the dash plate is good to make up for it. Just wait with boosting a little bit to save a little bit of energy. It is better to hold out on boosting in this section than if you don't have enough energy for the final boost drift into the tunnel coming up ahead after the corkscrew. Again, stay on the left side of the corkscrew and boost once more after the dash blade boost ends. You should have just about enough energy for another boost drift into the tunnel coming up. This is not enough energy for a full boost drift, but at least half a boost drift should be good enough. So prepare for that corner well in advance with a left side attack and go right along its apex and line yourself up with the dash blade. Of course, take the full length of the dash blade again. Optionally, to end the race, you can do a hard rail drift on the right side in the refiller. Make sure to enter the refiller first to replenish a little bit of energy before you start the drift. Be very careful with this drift because you can lift off the track as soon as the refiller ends. So when you have set up a good drifting angle, make sure to hold straight up on the control stick to prevent that. The time this drift saves is very marginal, so take that into account before you take on the extra risk with this drift. And that's it for this strategy on Delft Forest 1. This strategy may seem quite simple, but it can take you all the way up to the world record. Some of the drifts are optional, such as the beginning drift of lap 2 and the rail drift at the end of lap 3. If you do it well, you can save up to about 5 seconds from the first strategy. I recommend Night Thunder for this because it's a flat track without any air maneuvers. That said, the Night Thunder is slightly slower at the start of the race, but it can make up just a few kilometers per hour more on every drift. So in practice, the difference between the Hellhawk and the Night Thunder is only a few hundredths of a second at best. So pick whatever ship you prefer. Good luck and have fun!